Okay, the clock has begun. You probably can't see me that well. It's just after 5:30, and I've completely forgotten, of course, that the summer really is just drifting away from us. So, heading out today for a long run. Some logistical things came up, unfortunately, which meant I haven't been able to get to the start of the ultra. Also experienced some real torrential rain yesterday and some local flooding, certainly where I live. So, it just made things more difficult. So anyway, doesn't make a difference, we'll roll with it. And so long run is going to be a different route, slightly more familiar route along the river and back. So catch up with you soon when it's a little bit lighter and you can see my face. I'm sure it's still very hard to see me, but the rain is lashing down. About a minute after that clip it started to fall, and I needed to do a bit of a transition, get the raincoat on, and yeah, it's so far, aside from the first 20-30 metres running the rain, but actually opportunity to really not only test out my gear, but start to get a feel for what it might be like if the conditions are this bad on the day, which it probably will be in September. That local flooding I was telling you about, I just moved to one side because this river, very kind and considerate drivers, look at that. Oh. Hello, just in a quick bus shelter stop, just because, just getting access to the bottles, wanted to make sure I could rearrange things and get things where I want them to be. Also making sure I was moving stuff around from my shorts, because at this current time, with less than 3 kilometres, and you can probably see the rain, absolutely soaked through. But you know, this is going to be a mentally tough challenge for me. It wasn't supposed to rain until 9:30, which is why I came out so early. But hey, British weather has a way of surprising us, and it's going to be fun. Right, without further ado, let's get back out in this sun. All right, 5k in. The sun's come up. The rain has stopped. So in just a second, I'm going to stop, put this coat away. I was trying to give it a little bit of time to kind of dry off, but I don't really know what more I can do at this current time. So let's get it stowed away, because it certainly made me pretty warm, like a little incubator in there. And I'll talk to you more about the kit I'm wearing in a moment, but first of all, let's get this coat put away. Well, it's certainly not as beautifully packed as it was when I set out this morning, and I'll talk to you more about how I'm packing my vest as well when I get my final kit list through. I can only find one from 2018 at the moment. They still haven't sent anything through. I imagine depending on the weather and start times and what have you, because it will be a staggered start time, I think, depending on finish time. So in 2018 there was a mass start at 7 AM. That won't be the case this time around. Equally, aid stations are going to be, I reckon, a lot less well stocked, and due to COVID restrictions, they actually want the participants to spend as little time as possible with each other and with any of the volunteers. So with that in mind, I reckon this is going to be even more of a self-sufficient run, which is fine. I'm used to that, but it does obviously make things a little bit trickier, especially as it's my first ultra. All right, everyone, you know the drill. Woo! Through the tunnel we go. Yeah! Now we're about to hit the river, and about 9.5 kilometres in. It's going to be pretty messy on the river, I reckon. Certainly the pavements are flooded, and any grassy patches that I jump onto to avoid puddles are just, yeah, mushy, boggy. But anyway, here's the river. So, I wanted to talk to you about first aid. Again, using what I've seen online, in previous races, the ultra runners, next to medical, it just said plasters and pain relief. I'm running here with Florence Nightingale on my back, the first aid kit to, you know, bring the dead back, and I've got a feeling I'm carrying too much. But if this is the kind of race which is more of a self-sufficient race, not only for me but for others who I might come across who are injured, I want to make sure I've got what I need and what they need. So kind of in two minds, and as I've been used to running with it, it's no hardship really, other than the fact it does take up a little bit of room in the vest, which you'll see when I record a video of putting my bits and pieces together. Who wants to hear a story? Well, I'll tell you anyway. So just back there, had to do a bit of first aid on myself. I've never actually suffered with my nipples chafing, and I started to feel a little bit sensitive, especially on this left one here. And I thought, that's really odd. I wonder if something in my pack might be rubbing against it, maybe it's slightly colder. I wasn't sure, so I quickly whipped out the plasters and whacked them over the top of them. I started running off, and I just thought, it's really peculiar. I've never had it before. I've run on hotter days and all that kind of stuff. I've never had any chafing from this vest. Then I realised this pocket up here got a mobile phone in. Now the other day I found my headphones. I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll chuck them in this little pouch up here, so that on the day, if I need them, I can put them in. What I hadn't realised was the headphones had slipped down underneath the phone, so I didn't have a flat surface to my body, and that little earbud was rubbing against my nipple. So I've addressed that now, but I thought, oh, there we go, there's a little story to share with the whole world. Hey everybody, okay, so just over 16 kilometres, and we've reached this point, was it last week or the week before, where I confidently said we're heading this way, we're looping home, and it turned out, because of all the problems on the river, that wasn't the case. So fingers crossed, we should be just heading back 16k now, pretty clean 20 miles. Like I said, I'm pleased to have faced kind of a few adversities today, and pleased to be able to actually use the vest, because until now I've not really had any reason to go into the back of my vest and get some first aid or get a rain jacket on. So all in all, pretty positive actually. The sun is out at the moment. It is due to rain in about an hour, so I don't think I'm going to be lucky enough to get home in that time unless something amazing happens to my legs. So yeah, we're just going to head back now, taking the sights of the river, and see how I feel when we get to 20 miles as to whether I might choose to, even if it's a case of walking, just walk a bit further and just, you know, get a little bit more time on the legs. We will see how we go, but ultimately my first goal is to get back at 20, and then we'll go with the flow. All right. I'm also building in today intentional stops, mimicking kind of how I might refuel, and then obviously starting up the run again, just so the legs feel that change in pace and get used to the stop start. Not to say I'm going to stop at every aid station, but I think, you know, if I just get into that mindset of every, say, 10 kilometers or so, stop, walk, drink, refuel, check my pack, and then keep moving, that's a good mentality to get into, because if I'm doing something similar on the day, it won't feel too alien to me. Hopefully it makes some sense to you. I'm trying my best here to create an environment for myself that feels very, very comfortable. Yeah, so hopefully that's going to pay dividends on the day. So by now you know I'm a pretty strategic, logical kind of person, and today I just figured, look, I've got to break 20 for a training run. I've done 20 miles before, I've got to go further. So here is my strategies that I'm employing. I've just called home to my girlfriend. As you know, if you've been watching for a little while, she did a bit of running, had an injury, so she had to pull back on it. But what I've said to her is, be ready. When I get to the front door at 20 miles, we are going for just a jog, walk around, kind of around the block. It's probably going to be 1.5 miles. It's nothing too dramatic or fancy, but it just ensures that I don't go into the house. Clearly I've kind of got the mental toughness to carry on, but I think it's just having that backup plan. You know, in the next 4 or 5 miles, I might just become really very exhausted. I just need to have that extra push motivation. The plan is in place. We keep moving forward, so fingers crossed that will. Keep saying fingers crossed, I know. Not fingers crossed. It's going to happen. See you shortly. 16 miles in 2 hours 35. I've got an average speed of 6:14 per kilometre. There's actually dropped quite a lot because recent kilometres have been sub 6, which is too fast, but you know, I'm just tending to go with the flow right now. But I do need to slow it right down because otherwise I'm going to burn out. But that's kind of what happens if I really relax into it. I just settle into kind of like a 5:55, 5:50 zone, which feels really comfortable, but longevity is not so sensible. Here we go, another intentional move. Hill here, not a huge hill. I've run into it, so walk up it, take a final gel, but just again, just training myself to get used to that idea that it's okay to walk up the hill. It's absolutely fine, especially when the distances start to increase. I'm going to be more fatigued, got to treat your body well, look after myself. So we've just clocked, don't know what time that was actually, or what mileage, I missed it, but I think we're about 28 kilometres. So about 4k to go, get to 20 miles. And what I must do today, which is why I've done it, I meant to explain earlier, I do not want my body to feel like once we hit 20 miles it's switch off time. That's okay, going in for a bath and some food. I'm really aware that might be the case, so I'm just going to knock it out of myself today by looking at the door at 20 miles and then just turning around and walking the other way. So it's all about just getting that right. If that's right, we're going to be soaring all the day, soaring. Right, see you at the door. So in a few weeks' time when I come through here, hopefully my family will be around this point just to say hey, and that'll give me the boost I need to go off in that direction there. And that takes me on to the final third at least of the race, final chapter. So I'm kind of again being strategic, placing my family there so that I know when I see them it's go go go. This is the nearest point to my house, so this will be the point, if any, where I start to think about how much easier it would be just to throw in the towel and just head home, but obviously I won't. What's 22 miles in kilometres?
That would be 35.41 kilometres.
35.41, thank you. Guess we're doing 22 then. Okay team, there we have it. 20 miles, 3 hours, 20 minutes, at an average of, when the watch wants to look at me again, average of 6:15 per kilometre. But we are still going. I'm not even home yet, so that's good. Just keeps me pushing. Got to get to 35.5 kilometres today. That's it. I've said it, be accountable for it. 35.5. Should get home at 33. 2.5 to do. No worries. So we've got 1 kilometre to do. It's 22 miles. I'm not home yet. Put the extra loop in. This is mine. I stop when I reach the door at the end of the loop. Whatever that distance is, the distance for today. Music in, nice and relaxing. Some acoustic numbers. Keep the heart rate controlled if I can. Don't want to get too excited. Come on, get in. Ladies and gentlemen, 23 miles. Yes. Oh, get in. Furthest I've ever run in a training session. Yes. But just going to keep a nice, smooth, slow pace now to the front door. Come on, I got this. Dan, watch this bit back before your ultra. You got it. Go on. Stopped it with 4 hours on the nose. Oh, elated, absolutely elated. Thanks so much for all your support. I'm going to see you soon for whatever the next run brings. Take care.